Hi there. Welcome to the Imperfect Prophet podcast for women who wonder. Frankly, as we go through life, I'm sure we wonder about a great deal. First as little kids, then as adolescents, then as young women, then as transitional women. What are we calling ourselves these days? And then you get to this point in life, or my point in life, when you're postmenopausal and wondering what's next. Wondering if the parade already passed you by. Join me, Wonder Wendy. I'm going to be your host as we talk about some of these unique challenges that face women today in a new millennium, going through menopause and trying to live a rich, full life. There might even be a few men and younger women that want to listen in too. That's okay. But there's a roller coaster and we're all on it. And I'm going to be your guide to help you figure out when you should close your eyes, when you should hang on, and maybe we'll explore some ideas for what works for you if it doesn't work for me, or vice versa. So join the conversation, pick up your favorite beverage, and we'll talk to you soon. Welcome to The Imperfect Prophet.
Hey there. Welcome to another episode of The Imperfect Prophet with me, your host, Wonder Wendy. So I had a whole bunch of ideas to talk about this week. And then just yesterday, day before yesterday, scrolling through Instagram, like you do, I see this interesting looking woman who has a fashion hack that she is doing. So I click on it to watch the video. This is a stunning woman. She's got like silver whitish hair that makes you wonder if she's 30 and doing that hair as a fashion statement, or if she's 60 with a lot of filters, or if she really has great skin like that. She could be anywhere between 30 and 60. Really, it's hard to know these days, but she looks amazing. She's wearing a basic graphic tee. She's got a long satin black skirt, and she's showing how you can change the fit of that t-shirt ever so simply with a hair tie. That's the whole plot of it, right? Really basic. I think she looks great. I also think we were doing that hair tie thing back in the 80s, but whatever. How are younger people going to learn if we don't teach them, right? That said, remember, she's gorgeous. She's probably closer to 40. Radiant silver white hair. Looking good. Looking stunning. But the first comment that I land on, right beneath her video, aren't you a bit old for that shirt? What? Now, let that sink in. I mean, who are they to say she's a bit old for that shirt? Now, there is a double standard of aging and style. We know this. Let's just put that out there before we move on to the meat of this issue. Why is there an unspoken expiration date on fun, self-expression, and personal style, especially for women? Men age and become distinguished. Women age and get told to tone it down, cover it up, disappear. I refuse to disappear. As you can tell, I dressed for this episode today. Spoiler alert, we are not disappearing. We are bucket listers. We are going to live our fullest life, no matter what our age. If you're a dude who likes wearing a dress, great. Pick the right dress for the right situation. Tutus don't work for everything. Just going to say that one out loud. But this ageism thing, that's not holding for me. And I wonder what is going on in the mind of the person that's their first comment. And if I'd really had my wits about me, I should have gone and researched that person, right? I'm being sassy, brassy, and classy, so we're drinking Irish whiskey. That person who made that comment, are they an older person who feels threatened that somebody else feels so comfortable in themselves? Is it a younger person casting some shade and judgment? These are all valid points of view, but I had to ask questions about the person who made that comment more than the woman who I thought looked great. Not that I'd wear that graphic tee, not my style at all. And obviously I'm not going white. Thank you, Hannah. Those are my choices. And if you choose to go white-haired, embrace it. Do your best. Put the products in your hair that keep it bright and vibrant. Don't let it get yellow and dull. And if you do color your hair, take great care of it. There are wonderful products out there now. And if you want to wear a t-shirt, wear a t-shirt. But look for hacks on the internet about how to make it fit you better. Because you know what? If you're wearing a men's unisex size t-shirt, you are not doing your body any favors. So don't let yourself do that. The bucket list life isn't about approval. And when I talk about living the bucket list life, I'm not talking necessarily about skydiving or hiking Machu Picchu, although by all means you can do those. If that's your wheelhouse, do it. Maybe your idea of a hike is going to the mall. That's great too. Get out, do something. I'm talking about claiming joy, reclaiming visibility, and choosing things because they feel like you. That might be bold red lip, a leather jacket, a graphic tee. Who says style has to have a sell-by date? Several years ago, I went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City to see their punk exhibit in fashion. You know, every year they have the gala in May, and there's a fashion exhibit tied to that. They do a different theme every year. And me as a fashionista, I love going to these exhibits and seeing what they do with it. Now, the punk exhibit really spoke to the 70s and what happened there. And I was so excited, not just to see what they brought back and what they showed of current designers reflecting that punk influence that still runs through every time you see a safety pin shown on the outside of a garment. That is a punk influence. It doesn't have to be the real radical stuff that we saw in the 70s. You know, it can be different from that. It could take those influences. But the point of my story, the thing that excited me the most was what I call punk grannies. These were older women who clearly did this look and did this club vibe in the 70s. And here they were in their 60s and 70s. Okay, now I'm realizing I called them older. They weren't that much older, but they were older than they were the first time they wore that getup. And some of them had tattoos, and they were wearing their punk vibe to go to the museum exhibit. I thought that was amazing. They were still rocking pieces of themselves from years and years before. And I thought they looked amazing and fashionable. You know, punk in and of itself, in the real time, was kind of gross. One of the things they showed at the exhibit was actually the bathroom from BCBG, or a recreation of the bathroom from BCBG. That is not a place I want to go to the bathroom. It was gross. Mercifully, it didn't smell bad anymore. But we can take elements of that and not let go of who we were. You know, I still have that part of me that, for me, it's the Madonna years. Every so often, I need to let my bra shine through my shirt. I need to wear a black bra under lace. Or, you know, these days, the kids are wearing these sheer things with swimsuits or bras or whatever underneath. So they're sort of covered. And we can do that too. And every time I do it, I have to admit, I will take pictures and I will send them to a couple young friends and say, can I get away with this? Because I want that validation, for want of a better thing. So have those friends you can rely on, the ones who are going to help you understand whether you've taken a dangerous turn or whether you are being fashionable. I went to a gala wearing a lace dress not so very long ago. My first idea was to put it over a swimsuit because it seemed like the right thing to do. I don't know. And I ran it by my panel of friends, and one of them said, are you getting too close to looking like you're wearing a bathing suit cover-up? And it is a gala. It was a gala that cost over $1,000 a plate. I just had to take a drink because I reminded myself of what I spent on that ticket. But Maybe he was right, maybe he was wrong, but I changed my look and I put it over a slip dress and it looked great. Looking back, I probably could have gotten away with the bikini, especially as the evening went on, but I didn't. But it was still a little bit risque because I was wearing a really short dress under an all lace dress. And I wore it with boots and I was styling it and I loved it. It was fabulous. I'm 59 years old. And 20 or 30 years ago, I would have been told that I had to dress appropriately for my age. As a matter of fact, I remember slipping into my 30s, almost 30 years ago, slipping into my 30s and thinking that at that point I needed to start dressing differently. Now, I was an army wife at that time, so I had a few more social constraints upon me. But I started shopping a little more dress barn and a little less fashionable because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I look more fine now at 59 than I did at 32. What's that about? It's about loving yourself, loving your life, loving your style. You don't have to dress like me to be fabulous. You just have to dress like yourself. And don't let anyone tell you you're wrong. Unless, like I said, it's not appropriate. Like a tutu. There are some places a tutu shouldn't be worn. I'm trying to think of one of them. You know what? Rules suck. Forget it. Don't wear a meat dress if you're going to go hang out with wolves. That's probably a good philosophy. Don't wear a meat dress if it's hot and you don't have air conditioning. It'll start to smell bad. Yeah, we all know whose meat dress I'm talking about. But that's what I mean about fashion rules. The rules aren't designed to limit you. They're designed to keep you safe. And those are the rules you want to follow. But don't let the ones that are controlling who you are or making you into somebody else's vision be the rules you follow. So, point 3, there are permission slips, and if there's pushback, forget about it. We don't need permission, but we do need some reminders. That shirt, that project, that dream you're holding off on because someone might say, aren't you too old for that? Consider this your official nudge. You're not too old. You're right on time. Now, maybe you're not in the right shape for it. Maybe this is not the year you climb Kilimanjaro because you need to get your ankle back in shape, or you pulled your knee, or whatever happened. That's okay. But that's not age. That is getting back in shape. And you'd be amazed what you can do to your body, even as we get older. Now, it's going to take a while. I remember one time a doctor saying to a friend of mine, why do you think you can lose this extra weight in the next month? You've been putting it on for the last 5 years. Give yourself some grace. It's going to take time. So my yoga practice, which is now going on 6 years, is reversing damage that started when I was a teenager or even before. That means 40, 50 years of bad habits are slowly, meticulously being deconstructed and rebuilt as a healthier body. Give yourself grace. And if you want to do something crazy like climb Machu Picchu, start getting in shape for it. And the first step might be to take a first step. Just start taking walks every day. It could be that simple. Let's have another drink on that one. So you have permission, right? And forget about the pushback. You're not looking for approval, right? And what about that double standard? Let it go. Segment 4. Who are you dressing for? This is where we get real. When you dressed in the morning, who are you doing it for? Is it for the person in the mirror? The younger version of you? The woman you're still becoming? If it lights you up, it's right. If it feels powerful, seen, or playful, wear it. Now, there is that meme that goes around the internet. I was told to dress for the job I wanted, not the job I have. And now I'm sitting in HR disciplinary hearing wearing a Wonder Woman suit. Okay, so maybe a full-on Wonder Woman suit isn't appropriate for certain scenarios. But maybe you could get yourself some Wonder Woman earrings that you could slightly put into an outfit. And every time you saw them, you remember, I've got the power of a goddess inside of me. Because all of you do. If you're listening to this podcast, if you are a bucket lister, you have the power of the goddess inside of you, even if you're a man. Because guess what? We all have that yin and that yang, that masculine and that feminine power inside of us. And maximizing both of them is what makes some of the strongest, most amazing people happen. So don't be afraid of that energy. Embrace your goddess energy. And it can be little manifestations. It doesn't have to be really big. You know what's funny? I remember the first time I was told I was too old to wear that. I was 10. I know. And I was told I was too old to wear that. And in truth, I had outgrown that dress. It was too tight and too short because I was growing. I no longer fit in that dress. And it really wasn't appropriate for me to be wearing it. But it was my favorite dress. It was my Buffy dress. Yes, from the Buffy and Jodie collection. For any of you who are of my vintage or a little bit older, you may have watched A Family Affair. And maybe, like me, you liked Buffy and you wanted to be like Buffy. And getting that Buffy dress was, such a score for me. I loved that pink dress. It was kind of short, even when it was appropriate, when it fit me, when I first got it. And then as I got older, it got shorter. Well, actually, it didn't get any shorter. I got taller. And there was more of me. So the dress didn't fit well anymore. But the words I heard at the ripe old age of 10 were, "You're too old for that dress." So guess what? It's not about being in your 50s or your 40s or your 60s or your 90s. People are always putting these bullshit social messages on you about what you should or you shouldn't be wearing. And that's just not right. I think that's part of the reason, and maybe going down a wormhole here, but the whole gender fluidity thing is coming up because both genders felt restricted by what they were told they should be wearing. We've talked about it before. There were workplaces in the 80s and 90s that still prohibited women wearing trousers. They were limited to only wearing skirts. Excuse me? I see some women who look amazing and professional in men's suiting or suiting that has been feminized. So it doesn't mean you have to wear a man's suit. It means you can find your own suit. And I've seen some really sexy men wearing a kilt, which is basically a skirt, people. Let's not argue about that, shall we? And as the men that I know that enjoy wearing a kilt enjoy the freedom of the fresh air that comes to the nether regions. So why should we be judging them if that's what they like to wear? I mean, King Charles wears a kilt, excuse me. So what's wrong with it? So let go of these double standards. The bucket list life isn't about approval. It's about being your best you and maybe helping the world learn about that. Is there a way you can expand the horizons of others? Is there a way that in your slight fashion rebellion that you wear it with a smile and in so much happiness that somebody says, wow, I didn't think a woman over fill in the blank could rock a leopard print, but lady, you do. And maybe they slowly start reforming their version of that. Don't think you need a permission slip. Here's your permission slip. I'm telling you it's okay. Experiment, play. Don't necessarily wear the full Wonder Woman suit to work, but maybe take a little bit from it. Put a corset under that suit. Ooh, that's a fun look. When you wear a corset under something that looks almost like a men's suit, it's fun. Trust me, I've done that too. Remember who you're dressing for. It should be bringing you joy and happiness. You are dressing for a set. That's one of the things I love about getting dressed every day. You are dressing to walk into a scene. And what is that scene? And what reaction do you want? And is there a way you can change your dressing to change the reaction you're getting? Just saying. Maybe that's fun. If it lights you up, if it feels good, you're wearing the right thing. If it doesn't, there are people out there to help you. There are color consultants who will help you choose colors that make you feel brighter, that make you feel brighter and look better, actually. Because if you're wearing the wrong colors, it's washing you out and you don't even know it. And it doesn't require a bright lipstick. A neutral lipstick can sometimes make a huge difference if you're wearing the right colors. And I've said it before, find a tailor to alter your clothes so that you're wearing the clothes that fit you. You don't need a whole closet full of these clothes. You need a few things that make you feel great. So the next time somebody wonders aloud if you're too old for that shirt, smile and say, I'm not dressing for you. Because the real style secret, confidence has no age limit. None whatsoever. I'm Wonder Wendy, 59 years young and fabulous, rocking a leopard print. I'll post some more pictures of that. Oh, I did decide to put my hair up today, which, you know what, that used to be an age-appropriate thing once you were a married woman, like 21. Sometimes I just think it looks elegant and glamorous. Sometimes I wear my hair down, and I can do that too, because we don't have to subscribe to those old rules anymore. So until next week, do something fun for yourself. Take a picture, smile, remember why you did it, and maybe share that with us on the Wonderful Bucket List Life on Facebook. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have a wonderful week.
Like what you heard here today? Then we should be friends. I suggest you join my Facebook group. It's a good way to connect. We can have a conversation, ask me questions, whatever you want to do. It is called the Wonderful Bucket List Life. That's Wonder-Full Bucket List Life. Be a bucket lister and join me on this adventure. Or you can go to my webpage, which is Wonder Wendy and Friends, join the mailing list, learn about the book I wrote, adventures that are coming up in the future, and other podcasts. I look forward to talking to you soon, and stay hydrated. Have a great day.